Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Cryptoware, and today we are going to analyze some PDF based files. And so let's get started. So I have opened up my Remnux Linux, and here we can see there are 4 files. Today we are just going to understand what is present and what are some of the tools that we are going to use for analyzing a PDF document, a malicious PDF document, and how do we figure it out. So the first thing that whenever you come across any kind of file, be it a PDF or a docx or an exe or anything, the first thing that you can try is create a hash of that file and find it on VirusTotal. Over there, you can get an idea whether the file is malicious or not. And from there, you can move ahead. Even from VirusTotal, you can get an idea of different analysis that previously have been performed on that particular file, if it is malicious. And if it is, even if it is not a malicious file and if it has been shared before, you'll get some analysis related to that also. That is your first step always before finding your before analyzing, in fact, your malicious files. So today we are going to work on 2 tools, which are peepdf. These are already present in Remnux. So peepdf, you can see how we can write is it is again a Python based tool, and you can either provide some options over here and you can put the PDF file and see the analysis, whatever is happening. Also, you can use the -h option to understand how it works. We are not going to use a lot of peepdf, but we'll just use 2 simpler tools and the things that we want to understand. Now, the PDF file itself, how can it be malicious? Either there would be some commands that are malicious, that are trying to invoke some kind of functions, methods in your system, in your device, or else it is trying to download some kind of files from another URL. That URL might be malicious. You do not know. So it may happen that whenever you are opening up the file, it directly invokes that URL and the actual malicious file gets downloaded from there. Another thing is there could be an embedded file which also may get executed whenever you are starting the PDF file. So before analyzing PDF file, it is very important for us to understand what is a PDF file and how does it look like. I'll give you an idea while analyzing, but if you want me to, have a thorough discussion or a complete session on different headers and different things, objects present in a PDF file, you can let me know in the comment section. So I can, cover those things up also. But for our videos and for our concern, we'll be actually analyzing and understanding what are present in the PDF file. So let's get started. So yeah, apart from peepdf, we have, or ppdf, we will be using pdf-parser tool, and it will also give us some ideas. Of course, these tools can be used in a very different ways. Even the tool that we were using in our previous video, we can use it for various reasons. There are different functions over there, different ways, different things that you can perform. Currently, we are just dealing with analyzing and understanding how to, start with proper static analysis of these files. So let's get started. So we have 4 files over here. We'll start with mal1, 2, 3, 4, and we may choose any of the files and understand what is present over there. I'll choose any of the file while analyzing over here, and then we'll go ahead with that. So the first tool that I discussed about, so I'll be writing that tool name and the first malicious file that we have. So we can see it is giving us a lot of details like the MD5, SHA-256. Let's try something. Like I mentioned, that's something that we can do from VirusTotal. The thing that I was giving you an idea about. So in the VirusTotal, as I just copied the hash, we can simply put the hash over here. Yeah. And we can see. So it says that it is clean. So it is not malicious as mentioned over here. So it's of no use for us to analyze this file. As of now, we want to see something that is malicious. So let's look for the other one. Yeah, so we got another, and we see a lot of information present over here. So let's put the hash again and see. So as we saw that even the second file is is clean, it's not malicious. Let's look at the third one. Depending upon the size of the file, it may take a while, but don't worry, it won't take too much, time. So we can see there are a lot of details which are present in the file currently, and we can look for this. We can look for the hash. See, why am I doing this? Because it is very important for us to, save our time for the actual analysis and not waste on, you know, things that are not even malicious and we are just analyzing. So here we can see that it is malicious. It has been proved malicious. So you can also see that it has JavaScript embedded file. It is defining some CV and old CV over there. You can see some of the names that have been defined by different scanners that are detecting it as malicious. Different details that we can see from here. Community, you may check if there are any comments. So yes, so we are going to check the mal3 file, malicious file number 3. And let's see. So from here, we got some of the details. Let's do one thing. And okay, let's look at some other details too. So URIs, from here we can understand there's some URLs over here, some links that might be of interest. Objects, so a PDF file structure has number of objects, and within those objects a lot of things are defined. I'll give you a hint. How does it look like? There are different streams over here. If there's something as encoded, you can see over here. Now, two things that we observed. One was from here that it has some URIs. And another thing that we saw from virus total was the presence of JavaScript, embedded JavaScript. So we can see it is giving you two different things like objects with URIs. So these objects are having URIs. So we'll check those URIs over here. Now, objects with JavaScript. So if it has an embedded JavaScript file, we will just look at it, what is over there. So today's work is to understand and analyze these two things. Apart from that, suspicious elements, under suspicious elements, we can see open action. So in PDF, so in any kind of documents, in majority, it is possible to embed different kinds of files. It is also possible to run some commands. Now you have to understand why that particular file is asking for any kind of command, or why that file is, why is it important for that file to connect to any kind of server or connect to any kind of URL. What is it trying to do? Is there something that file has to, download from that particular server? So that is something that we have to understand. And when they are using all those kinds of things, open action is used. So a presence of open action does not necessarily define that it has to be malicious, but you can have a look at it, because more of the times it is malicious. Presence of JavaScript also defines that maybe it is malicious and we need to have a look. So moving ahead, we'll look at another tool, which is PDF parser. And we'll simply write the mal3 file. We will not be analyzing the other two files. So, and the last file, let us not look at it right now. Let's check, since we have found one malicious right now. We'll be analyzing other and more files, in fact, in our upcoming videos. So yes, you can see a lot of things are happening. For our ease, what I'll do, okay, it has not completed with, the processing. Okay. So what we can do is we can save it in PDF structure. Matthew, why am I naming? This is not just a structure. It is giving you what is present in that PDF file, just to give you an idea of what is the structure of the PDF. So that is why I'm opening this and I'm writing this name currently. Yeah, so it is taking a while again because it is a bit, it has a good, it's not a huge file, but of course it is not that small also. So it is taking some time. So let's look at in our editor. So PDF file, most of the time, in fact, all the time, start with this. So whenever you're looking for the header of any PDF file, you would see this is present over there. As I mentioned, it has objects. It defines the object index and everything. I'm not going to get into too much details, but this is how it looks like. It will define you that this is what kind of, what is this object type. So it is category. It will give you some references. And what is present over here? Open action, as I mentioned before, open action, presence of open action can give you an idea that we should be analyzing that file. There may be something that is trying to. Basically, open action defines that whenever you are opening that file, there is some action that needs to be performed. So that is the reason why we need to check what is present over there. So you can see different objects are defined over here. Their types are defined, different referencing. You can see lots of things that are defined. So this is kind of structure. So once the objects, like after mentioning all the objects over here, yeah, you can see. So this is quite a big PDF file. So we are able to see a lot of objects. In a small PDF file, you'd see there, 8 or 10 objects, and we directly reach towards the end of that file. So just get to the end. Okay, it's a pretty huge file. Okay, so we reach the end, and this is how it ends. There's another within the structure, there is an option which is an xref, which is a kind of table. So see, this explains you, this gives you an idea of the presence of JavaScript. It also tells you what is present over here, and we'll be looking at it in details. So please let me know if you want me to, cover the structure, specifically the structure of different file types in a separate video. Let me know in the comment section. So I'll be covering that up too. But for now, let's start with the actual analysis of the file. So in the PDF parsers.file, this is the actual tool, that tool that we are going to use. So let's understand what are we doing over here. So for PDF parser, parser.py tool, let's understand. When you use -h, you get to know about different things. The first thing that we saw was -f. So we are filtering, like what do we want to know? So from the first tool, PDF or PPDF, there we came to know about JavaScript files, which are present. So the next thing that we would want to see is what is present. Like, is there an actual JavaScript file? We'll be analyzing. Let's see what is present in that JavaScript file. So to find that out, so to filter that out, we're using this. Sorry. Yeah. So -o defines the object that we are looking for. How did we find that object? From the previous tool that we use. So from there, we can figure out what the object is present. And -d is actually helping you to, dump all the contents in this file, because as you saw, the file is quite large. So it's better that we, put all those contents in a separate file and then check it in a different editor and understand what is happening over there. So before running this command, let's run the previous command again and see which particular object we are interested in. So yeah, it is taking some time. Okay. So as we saw, we have seen these details. We are quite aware of these details. We saw that, yes, this is malicious. These are objects. These are, since it's a huge file, so there are different objects. As you saw while we opened the structure, we are looking at the structure. There are different streams, some encoded things, decoding errors. We don't have to go through that. There are some URIs. We'll be looking at them later on. Now there are objects with JS code, JavaScript code. So let's look at them if we find something very interesting. Okay. So the object number is 33. File name is malfile. We can write it as, so you are dumping. So extract hyphen file would be the name of the file where you are dumping everything. So extract file 33. We can mention it in a proper way, so it becomes easier for us to understand. Yeah. So it is still doing. Let's look at object 74. Let's do some of them, like let's check some of them. Sorry, I have to rerun this because I did not change the file name. So I'll have to rerun this. Is it actually 44? It's 74. Yeah. And the object is also 74. So we have to remove the name at two different parts. One is after the object, and the other one is while we are defining the file name. So while we are defining the file name, it is not very necessary to mention the object, but just for our understanding, we are doing this. We can actually save it somewhere instead of running this command every time. Let's check 96. Because it is giving you an output also, and I'm not sure whether there is anything present over here. So since we did, for 3 files, let's see what is present. Yeah, so we can see there is something over here. Let's check the 74 number. Okay, there is something present here too. So it looks like notice the project, something is written over here. Okay, so here you can see there is some kind of URL that it is trying to connect to. Washington, METR, metropolitan basically area. So there is something that it is writing over there. There's something present that we can deduce from here. Okay, let's check the other one. Okay, so there are some details we can see which is present over here. So in this file, we saw that there is one URL. The URL does not look like it's very, suspicious, but you never know. It may be suspicious. We are not aware of it. So from here, you can keep on analyzing what is present. You can just guess what is, or you can just deduce below. Okay, let's look at 99. So this is one way how you can actually analyze You can extract the file and understand what is present over there. It is not just specific to JavaScript, by the way. You can, if there is a doc file embedded or any other kind of file, an exe file embedded, you can actually find it out from here using this command. So since it is 99, let's look at the next file. Yeah. So it is also a bit huge. Not that huge. It's readable though. So there is nothing very interesting that we can see as of now. Looks like it mostly has the contents. Yeah. So basically, since we saw, and an actual malware file would be really very huge because it will try to, divert you from the actual malicious part, and it takes a lot of time. So you can see that there's so many objects. So you can, write a script to analyze all of them at once. You can just write a simple bash script that can do it. And, it can simplify your work and then you can analyze. But yes, you will have to look at each file because unless you look at it, what is happening, unless you understand what is there in that file, in that embedded file, you won't be able to understand what is happening. Let's look at another one and then we'll randomly pick anything from behind. So let's look at this 134. So yeah, we can see that they have some options: search, roundtable, something launch. So they have a lot of information over here. Yeah. Let's look at one final object, any randomly that we can pick, Um, let's pick at 628 because it has a JavaScript option also. Sorry, not Java. Yeah, it has a link also, it looks like. No, it does not have a link, sorry. Just present over here. So let's pick 628. Let's see if we can find anything interesting from there. Okay. Okay, so it does not look like it has anything. If we choose a new room, let's try 627. Okay, so it's fine. There's nothing as of now. As I mentioned that a lot of times malware authors put things that are, for diverting the researchers or for diverting the analysts. So these are some of the ways how you can, look for the embedded files. So we can see that we did not find a lot of things, although we know it has a number of URLs and embedded JavaScript. We will be analyzing this further using both the tools PDF parser and PDF or PPDF. We'll be using both the tools and analyze this file further. And also I'll be having some more malicious files for us to analyze. So today in this video, I gave you an overview of how you can start with, PDF malware analysis. Before analyzing a PDF file, please go through, go through the structure of a PDF file. It will help you with understanding what is present over there. I also have written an article, a blog on the same. So you may check it out. I will be putting all the links in the description so you can have a look at it. Or else also let me know if you want me to cover it on my channel itself. So I'll be covering that up. And also let me know if there is any suggestion or if you want me to cover some other files. Although I'll be covering different kinds of file types. I'll be analyzing them maybe after PDF. We will be analyzing an exe file, just a static analysis, an ELF file, or different kinds of file types that we'll be analyzing. JavaScript, if we find a JavaScript from this file, from this PDF, or from somewhere else, we'll be analyzing that too. So we are actually going to analyze a lot of files, so don't worry about it. Even though if you have some other suggestions, let me know. Anything else that you want me to cover, let me know. And make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much. See you in the next video.